Honey child and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, hi there. I am Professor Blackmore and welcome back to my channel and to my series entitled Potter's House PedoFiles. And since Sister Cora has been all over social media lately with these children, and since we're waiting to see what will happen next in the criminal court case pertinent to the sexual assault allegations made by her daughter against her husband, I want to invite you to join us as we go back to the beginning of this case as we binge watch prior episodes of this series, wherein I will be detailing all of the facts surrounding how she, Miss Cora, somehow allowed this alleged event between her husband and her adopted daughter to take place, allegedly. And so now, we'll go back to the beginning and review in detail the allegations in the indictment against her husband, Richard Brandon Coleman. We will even review the circumstances of why we do not have an actual divorce petition or divorce decree between Cora and her husband, Brandon Coleman, in this case. In addition, I hope you'll check out the community tab on my channel homepage, which is where you'll be able to check out the opinion of my church house jury to many poll questions taken from questions asked during this binge watch event. And we'll also be live tweeting during some of the binge watch viewing events. So I hope you'll join us. And so you'll want to be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified of each binge watch viewing event, because you don't want to miss out on one drop of hot tea drama on this case. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry about that, but I just want to make sure this mic is working because I need to drop some serious knowledge on here today to all of my esteemed sisters. Now, if you're dating who you believe to be the one, your love, happily ever after, your person, and all of the above, well, you better stick around because today is story time, sis. And I'm going to drop all the tea on all of the details surrounding the arrest of Richard Brandon Coleman, the husband of Cora Jakes Coleman, aka BishopTDJakes' daughter. Yeah, today I'm going to drop all the truth around that. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore and welcome back to my channel. Now, in prior episodes of the Professor Blackmore Case Closed Legal Hot Topics blogcast, I spill the tea on the various and numerous reasons why I don't think the reality show Church House Romance between Pastor Keion and Shaunie will last. And I'll place a direct link in the description section of this video below. And in those videos, my main point was to point out clues that should alert you that your Prince Charming might not be what it seems. He might be a fraud. And I think this is even more important when you decide to actually get married to this individual. And so while there are numerous saints, Pharisees, Sadducees out there who did not appreciate my opinions regarding the marriage of Pastor Keion and Shaunie, I just want you to know that if you ever find yourself locked in a marriage and you can't get out of it fast enough, you'll understand why I'm dropping this wisdom free of charge. And so for today's church house drama, today's case, we have the daughter of Bishop T.D. Jakes, Cora Jakes Coleman, who entered into holy matrimony on or about June 4th, 2011 with rapper Richard Brandon Coleman, also known by his stage name, Ski Ventura. Now, Cora and her husband adopted 2 children during the marriage because Cora struggles with infertility issues, allegedly. But anyway, and there are alleged reports out there that Cora coerced and or manipulated the parents of these adopted children to relinquish their parental rights, allegedly. But I'm going to stay focused on this, and I'll come back later and deal with this adoption tea. Now, Cora is a pastor in the children's ministry at Potter's House Church in Dallas. And now, just put that together with the fact that her husband was arrested on May 4th, 2022 for the alleged, and I quote, continuous sexual abuse of a young child or children, end quote. But now, if you think about it, you haven't seen widespread news coverage of this. And maybe you have, but I certainly have not. And she used to be plastered all over the church website in connection with the children's ministry. But notice how in this depiction it's just Pastor Cora. She don't want to have nothing to do with that Coleman last name. And the church is putting a huge amount of distance between her and the church. So they ain't even putting Jakes nowhere on her last name. But anyway, now according to the records of the Ellis County Sheriff's Detention Center in Waxahachie, Texas, Cora's husband remains at this moment in custody at the Wayne McCullum Detention Center jail on bail set in the amount of $150,000. Now, this is very interesting to me because it really would only take 10% of that to be posted for him to get out. And we all know that Bishop Jakes got $15,000 just laying around in his petty cash drawer. But they ain't touching none of this with the 10-foot pole over there at the Potter's House Church, that's for sure. Now, here is the indictment. And when I read this, child, if you're sensitive, I'm just saying, this might not be for you. Be warned. If you sensitive to sensitive facts, you just need just pass on, just go by this video, because this ain't for you, because I'm gonna read the facts from the indictment. Now, I'm not reading all of the counts, but here are just a few, and I'm quoting directly. That on or about July 28, 2021, and before the presentment of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Richard Brandon Coleman did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the penetration of the sexual organ of AC, a child who was then and there younger than 14 years, by the defendant's fingers. Okay, now that's a lot. That's a lot, and a lot of that gave me pause. But I'm not gonna deal with the fingers. I just let you do your own research on that. Okay. But what I do want to say regarding the initials is that in most states, to keep the identity of minors confidential, they use the initials of the minor rather than using the minor's full name. So it does cause my eyebrow to go like way up when I see this C as the last initial, because his last name is Coleman and their adopted children's last names would be Coleman. And then adding on to that, in Texas, the allegation for an indictment would normally read for this type of charge younger than 14 years of age without specifically stating what the age of the child actually is. But just let me stay focused, okay? Reading on further down, quote, that on or about August 11, 2021, August 11, 2021, like a few months ago, and before the presentment of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Richard Brandon Coleman did then and there, with the intent to arouse or gratify the sexual desire of any person, engage in sexual contact with AC by touching her genitals with the defendant's hand or hands against the peace and dignity of the state, signed by the grand jury foreman. Now, wow, that has just blown me completely away. And I mean, it's so heavy. Okay. So I need to gather my thoughts after all of this. So I'm going to stop here for now, but let me just say this. When you read reports that state that Cora has divorced her husband, I want you to reserve your belief unless someone can actually show you the actual divorce petition. And if they show it to you, then you need to come on here and post it so we can see it. Because unless it's filed under seal, I have not found one yet. And even if she has filed one, you can't get a divorce that quickly just by operation of law and operation of the procedural steps required and the time it takes to complete those procedural lawful steps. It's just not possible that she could be divorced from him between that time in May and now. It's just not possible. So I just don't see how any of those reports that you'll see reports out there that try to make it, they're trying to pass it off as if they're divorced. It's not possible legally. And so all of the Pharisees and the Sadducees out there who be all in my comments with all of your vicious comments, just want you to be reminded that these are people who are hanging around the church children's ministry. And that's all I'm going to say on that. You make your own decision. Because as you know, I ask and report and you decide. So what do you think about all of these Potter's House pedophiles running around, church business? Please let me know by leaving your comments in the comments section below. And in the meantime, before you go, please give me a big thumbs up. And I also want to ask you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, because you don't want to miss out when I post new videos on this tea. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm just gonna jump right into this today because this has just been burning all in my spirit. Now, in the previous episode of the Professor Blackmore Case Closed Legal Hot Topics blogcast, I broke down cold hard facts directly from the criminal court indictment surrounding the arrest of Richard Brandon Coleman, the husband of Cora Jakes Coleman, aka BishopTDJakes' daughter. And the details were so heavy that I had to pause and regroup. And so today, I'm gonna pick back up where I left off. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. And I wanna preface this by saying that this is part 2. And so you wanna make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified when I follow up on this, because the facts are so earth-shattering that you don't want to miss out on a single solitary minute of details. And if you want to get caught up, I highly suggest that you watch my prior video on part 1, and I'll place a direct link in the description section below. And before I go any further, I just want to mention that everything being shared here will be based on alleged facts, inasmuch as I have over 20 years of litigation law practice experience in civil and criminal law. And I want to remind you that we're all considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And so, as many of you may know, Cora Jakes' husband was arrested on or about May 4th, 2022 for the alleged, and I quote, continuous sexual abuse of a young child or children, end quote. And this quote is taken directly from the records of the Ellis County Sheriff's Detention Center in Waxahachie, Texas, where Cora's husband remains in custody at this very time and moment at the Wayne McCullum Detention Center jail on bail set in the amount of $150,000. Now, this quote is also taken from count 1 of the 5-count indictment. And the thing that struck me so hard in my last episode was reading the information from count 2 of the indictment, which states, and I'm quoting directly, that on or about July 28, 2021, and before the presentment of this indictment in the county and state aforesaid, Richard Brandon Coleman did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the penetration of the sexual organ of AC, a child who was then and there younger than the age of 14 years of age, by the defendant's fingers. Now, that's tough. And although the entire indictment, including all 5 counts, includes some horrific information, even more guttural than reading the actual sexual action of the allegation, is reading the initials AC, because Cora and her husband's last name is Coleman. Now, because of alleged fertility issues suffered by Cora Jakes, her and her husband adopted their 2 children. So it does cause my eyebrow to raise when I see this C as the last initial, because his and her, Cora's, last name is Coleman, and their adopted children's last names would be Coleman. And so when I read the initials AC, it just took my breath away, because their adopted daughter's name is Amauri Noel Coleman. Now, let me be clear. This is a completely alleged supposition, because all I have at this point are initials. But when you put this together with the further allegations in the indictment, i.e., that the child is, quote, younger than age 14 years of age, well, I'll just let you make up your own mind on that, okay? But now, if you go back up to count 1, you'll see that these events occurred in 2 different counties and on 2 separate dates that they can prove up in the indictment. But I think we all know that it most likely happened on probably even more than one occasion. And so I'm quoting directly here that on or about June 10th, 2021, through August 11th, 2021. So that's over a period of a month. But if you look at the rest of the counts, they specify only 2 occasions, July 28th and August 11th. But continuing, and I'm quoting, June 10th, 2021 through August 11th, 2021, Richard Brandon Coleman did then and there during a period that was 30 or more days in duration, when the defendant was 17 years of age or older, commit 2 or more acts of sexual abuse against AC, a child younger than 14 years of age, namely aggravated sexual assault of a child and indecency with a child, end quote. Now, this is a lot, people, but this count tells me to stay tuned. It says to me that they are still investigating these allegations and we may likely see additional charges here. And also, when it says, quote, when the defendant was 17 years of age or older, this language is to prove up statutory rape so that you won't have a child 17 years old trying to get out of a rape charge just because the person is 17 years old. So say, for instance, when you have a child who is 17 years old having sex with another child who is 14 years old or younger, and they try to say, well, that we both consented, well, this is a workaround for that particular problem. So it clearly sets out the dates that you have to be able to prove statutory rape because of the issue of consent and the question of how old can a person be to consent, and that small problem that you have of a person being a certain age being able to get out of certain offenses because they're a juvenile. So here it is clearly defined. And so this defines that if you're 17 years old or older, a person who is 14 years old or younger cannot consent to sexual activity in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, in an Instagram post that has since been deleted, Cora states, and I quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I announce that my husband and I have decided to divorce. This is a private and personal matter, and I kindly ask for your prayers as I prioritize myself." Okay, well, she should have prioritized before now, but anyway, as I prioritize myself and most importantly, my children's well-being at this time. God bless. Yeah, a lot of that, I agree with her. Yeah, at this time, because we kind of wish that you had prioritized the well-being of your children before now, but that's not for me to say. But anyway, now this is all very interesting to me, and I want to see how the Dallas County Family Court is going to handle this, because if they live in Dallas County, which if you look at all of the court records connected to her husband's criminal court case, the address reflected has a Dallas address. So her divorce involving any issues surrounding or regarding the parent-child relationship between the children and her husband means the divorce would have to be filed in Dallas County. Now, you know, they have a lot of judges over there at Potter's house, and so we'll have to see what's going on with all of this. But you better know that I have been looking for that divorce petition, and unless the court has it filed under seal, it does not appear that she has filed one yet. Now, I'm hearing from some people that they have a copy of it, or a copy of it is posted somewhere, but if I can't pull it myself and or verify that it is an actual court record, I'm not going to bring it on here. And if she has not filed for divorce yet, I would find that odd, because if it were me, that divorce petition would have been on file the same day her husband was arrested. That's for sure. Or you can best believe I would have been waiting at that courthouse the next morning, waiting for them to unlock that door. You better believe that. Now, the indictment makes note of the sexual acts taking place also in Tarrant County. So it's possible that they possibly reside in Tarrant County. And if they reside in Tarrant County, then this divorce would have to be filed as per family law in Texas. The divorce would have to be filed in Tarrant County, or in the Tarrant County District Court, Family Court. And the Tarrant County District Court just does not have an online friendly public record site like Dallas County. But if it has been filed, I'll find it. You better believe that. Now, on another note, up until now, Cora Jakes was identified as the Potter's House Children's Church pastor and the director of the Children's Church Ministry. But if you now visit the link on the Children's Church Ministry page of their church website, you'll see that the page has been taken down as of now. And it appears that they have tried to sanitize the site as it relates to Cora Jakes. Now, you'll see that she is still appearing in the virtual Children's Church weekly message videos, but her appearance is buried deep within the middle or the body of the content, and she's not the lead like she normally would be. And so I find that also very interesting. And so in my final analysis, I guess I'll just have to say, I'll give Miss Cora the benefit of the doubt and assume that maybe she has filed the divorce, and maybe the court must have it under some sort of seal, or the divorce actually has been filed. It's been filed in Tarrant County, and I just don't have a copy of it yet. Because, honey child, if it could be found, believe me, I would have it. And so, as you know on here, I ask and report, and you decide. So what do you think? Do you think that Cora is serious about divorcing this man? And maybe she's filed these invisible divorce papers that can't be found nowhere? Please let me know by leaving your comments in the comment section below. And in the meantime, before you go, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. And I also want to ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos, because you don't want to miss out on one single solitary minute of details regarding this hot tea. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Now today, ladies and gentlemen, I got some jailhouse mail, so you better stick around if you want to see this new mail that has been delivered and filed hot off the presses with the court from the jail cell of the husband of Cora Jakes, aka the daughter of BishopTDJakes. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. Now, as you know, in previous episodes of the ProfessorBlackmore.com Case Closed Legal Hot Topics vlogcast, I broke down the cold hard facts directly from the criminal court indictment surrounding the arrest of Richard Brandon Coleman the husband of Cora Jakes, Coleman. And so you want to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified when I follow up on this hot tea, because something tells me that Cora Jakes' husband ain't gonna be quiet while he's sitting in that jail cell now, that's for sure. And if you want to get all caught up on all of the hot tea surrounding this court case, I highly suggest that you watch my prior videos, parts 1 and 2. And I'll place a direct link in the description section below. And so let's jump right in. Now, if we look at our criminal court case file, we can see that the original bill of indictment was filed with the court on June 9th and served on Cora Jakes' husband right there in the jail in Ellis County. And on the same day, the court appointed an attorney and set his first appearance setting to take place on August 26, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. And so that is when he may be arraigned and or will be able to learn in greater detail of the information surrounding the charges against him. Now, upon being served with this paperwork on this same exact day, Cora Jakes' husband drafted this document that he is entitled a motion to dismiss counsel, which is kind of cute to me because you think that if he didn't do this heinous act that he's been accused of, well, he would be filing a motion to dismiss this whole case. But he's messing around filing a motion to dismiss the attorney. But anyway, now, I guess the mail moves so slow that this didn't make it into the court records to be filed until July the 1st. So now let's take a look at this and see if we can get a little bit of flavor from this legal document. So he says, and I'm quoting directly from the jailhouse court papers, quote, "Defendant's attorney of record is John Failer, who, after review of grievances, is seen as not being in the best interest of said defendant." I don't know what he means about grievances, but when you look at the attorney's record, there are no grievances that have been filed in the public record against this attorney. This is a very seasoned, experienced attorney, so I don't really know what's going on here. This is crazy. But anyway, but if you look at the document, you can see that clearly he's had some time to do a little bit of legal research because he has all of the legal citations and all of the legal document formatting all down here. But this document, to me, screams out that I'm not just going to sit down and shut up in this jail cell. That's what I see when I read this document. This kind of says to me that the attorney probably stepped to him and started talking about entering some type of plea, because the action of him sending this document on the exact same day that all of these court documents were filed, the indictment, the attorney appointment, it just seems so immediate and so emotional. And so it's hard to tell what the hell is going on here, but there is definitely a clear outcry all around this document, in my opinion. And now, if I were this attorney, I wouldn't want to have nothing to do with this mess, nothing at all, okay? And now, I do want to give deference to the fact that I've received numerous comments from people who don't think these allegations are true and that Cora Jakes' husband has been set up somehow by somebody. But all I know is that a grand jury looked at the initial stages of the state's case and felt that it was compelling enough to return an indictment. And speaking of indictment, let me tell you what my real problem is with this case, Mr. or Madam DA down there in Ellis County. I think my main question is, why did you put this child's initials in these court records? If your goal is to at least act like you're interested in the best interest of this child, I just can't see why you wouldn't have a policy in your office of not ever putting a child's initials in a court document when the allegations relate to the child's family member who has the same last name. And in addition to all of this foolishness, when you go on Cora Jake's Instagram, you'll see all kinds of foolery talking about signing up to be in her mentoring course. So if I had a chance to talk to her, I'd pull her to the side and say, child, if you're interested in the well-being of these children that you adopted, you need to be down there at that DA's office or somewhere down there at that courthouse trying to get an order, ordering the DA to change these initials to CD for Child Doe. I mean, now with all of the money that BishopTDJakes has, you think they could find good lawyers. And BishopTDJakes, call your girl. But anyway, and so on here, you know that I ask and report and I let you decide. And so what do you think? Do you think this man actually could have committed these awful crimes, actually thinking that he would get away with it? Or do you think there's something deeper going on here and he was somehow framed or set up? And what about Cora Jakes? Do you think she's doing the best possible job she could be doing with these children that she went out and adopted? Let me know by leaving your comments in the comments section below. And in the meantime, I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I also want to ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, because you don't want to miss out on one single solitary minute when I come back with more hot tea on this topic. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. All right, everybody. Today, I got some more court records hot off the presses in the child sexual abuse case against Cora Jake's husband, Richard Brandon Coleman. So, if you want to find out what's in this court filing, you better stick around. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. Now, in previous episodes, I broke down the cold, hard facts directly from the criminal court indictment surrounding the arrest of Richard Brandon Coleman, the husband of Cora Jakes Coleman, aka BishopTDJakes' daughter, and up until now, the highly publicized director of the Potter's House Children's Ministry. But if you look at their website now, you'll see that they've tried their best to sanitize her from it altogether after all of this. And if you want to get caught up on all of the hot tea that I've spilled on this case up until now, including the actual sexual assault allegations taken directly from the indictment, please watch my prior videos, and I'll place a direct link in the description section below. But today, honey child, I got some records straight from the courthouse filed by the district attorney in the case. And the first thing I want to say to this district attorney is, if she's listening, honey, please, Miss Madam District Attorney, please stop listing this child's name and initials in these public records. Please, ma'am, please. Okay, but this thing that she has filed this time is speaking to my soul. It's going straight to my spirit. And now there are a lot of people on here in the comments in my previous videos telling me that they believe that Cora's husband has been set up. And it even goes so far in some instances to seem like they're telling me that Cora has set up her husband. So I don't know about all of that. And while this case has a lot of odd things going on to me, like why this case is not being brought by the Tarrant County District Attorney, yeah, that's my first big question right there. Because Tarrant County, which is damn near in Dallas County, would put the publicity of this right in the Potter's House jurisdiction. But it seems that the Ellis County District Attorney has taken the lead on this case, and this is highly suspicious to me. But I'll have to let you all solve the puzzle of whether he's been set up and whether he's been set up by Cora. I'm going to let y'all deal with that. But let me put the evidence in the record for you first. Okay, so now what we have here is a media discovery receipt. And now this telegraphs to the defense attorney what evidence the district attorney has that is available for review by the defense attorney. And I'll say again, this thing is speaking to my spirit, okay? So let's start at the beginning of this list. Now, it makes reference to a forensic interview taken of the child dated September 21st, 2021. And I don't know why they put her initials here, because right here on the next line, they put the child's full name out here with the password for the file. And I think this first entry might be a reference to the child's CPS folder, because over here on the right side, it makes reference to items that are not discoverable by the defense attorney, which includes the CPS investigation report. Now, it also lists the child's therapist information folder, which references a PTSD checklist, a diagnosis and treatment plan, and a mental status exam. It also lists 42 emails to and from the detective on the case. It also lists audio, voicemails, and voice messages. And then it also lists 78 detention center calls. Now, that just lets me know right there that they're listening in on the jailhouse calls being made by Cora Jake's husband. So I hope he ain't on there, you know. I hope he ain't on there, you know, whatever. In addition, they have other recorded calls. They also have a medical exam report. Okay, so these allegations are not likely based merely on the word of the child and Cora Jake. So it seems like maybe they may have some medical or corresponding medical evidence as well. So they also have body camera footage from interviews of Cora Jakes conducted in September and November of 2021, and an interview conducted with the grandmother, i.e. TD Jake's wife, in March of 2022. So, wow, that's very interesting. That's gonna make great TV when they play that at the trial, if this boy don't plead. So we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen with that. And they have another 30 photographs from a phone or a computer. Okay, so you're aware that in my last video, I showed you jail mail from Cora Jake's husband, in which he emphatically, okay, in bold letters almost, in handwriting, denounced the appointment of his current attorney and asked the court to dismiss the attorney. But as you can see here on this record, that same attorney is acknowledging his receipt of notice of this evidence list. So he's still on the case, and it looks like he'll be ready to appear at the first appearance setting that is set to take place on August 26, 2022. Now, I find all of this to be very interesting, and based on what I can glean just from looking at this list, I don't see how Cora Jake's husband is going to be able to wiggle out of this. But again, as you know on here, I report and I let you decide. So what do you think? Do you think this child was sexually assaulted by somebody or nobody at all, and that all of this is being fabricated? And how in the world is it that Cora Jakes or anybody else could set up Brandon Coleman with all of this evidence that the DA purports to have? Please let me know by leaving your comments in the comments section below. And I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I want to ask that you also please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I come back with more hot tea developments on this case. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Today, honey child, I'm just gonna get into the matter at hand on today's docket. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. Now, in part 1 of this series, I laid out all of the divorce decree paperwork pertinent to Bishop T.D. Jakes' youngest daughter, Sister Sarah Jakes, Woman Thou Art Loosed, Operation number 1, wherein she loosed herself by ending her marriage relationship with her former lying-ass, cheating-ass spouse, Robert Henderson. And in part 2 of this series, I reviewed Sister Sarah Jakes' Woman Thou Art Loosed, Operation number 2, in which she seeks to terminate the parental rights of said former lying-ass, cheating-ass spouse as it relates to her daughter, Mackenzie Henderson. And today, honey child, I'm coming back to you to provide an update on what should be Woman Thou Art Loosed in Jesus' name, hallelujah, i.e. the missing divorce papers that should have been filed by now by Sister Cora Jakes, aka Bishop T.D. Jakes' older daughter. I mean, it just seems like Cora Jakes is the only woman over there at that Potter's House church that don't want to be loosed. I mean, I guess that's why they're ending the whole Woman Thou Art Loosed money grab. I mean conference. But anyway, y'all. And now, if you want to get caught up on all of the details surrounding Sister Sarah's Woman Thou Art Loosed Operations 1, 2, and 3, please watch my prior video series, and I'll place a direct link in the description section below. And if you want to get caught up on all of the details of the allegations contained in the indictment of Cora Jakes' husband, pertinent to the sexual assault of their adopted daughter as alleged in the indictment, I highly suggest that you also watch my prior video series on this topic as well, and I'll place a direct link in the description section below. And I hope you'll also consider donating to this video by clicking the super thanks heart button below as well. Now, in an Instagram post that may have since been deleted by Cora Jakes, she states the following, It is with a heavy heart that I announce that my husband and I have decided to divorce. End quote. And let me just tell you that deciding to divorce and actually divorcing are two different things, boo. And I'm also going to stop right here to address all of the comments and messages that I received from people saying that there are other people who are saying that they have or have seen a copy of a divorce petition or divorce decree in this matter. And as you've seen on this channel, when there is actually a certified court document that has been filed with the court, I show it to you. And so if somebody is saying they have a copy, they should show it to you. And so if you're saying that you've seen said divorce, not just that people are saying they have a copy of said divorce, send me a copy of it. In addition, you could also possibly certify the happening of this so-called event by hearing Cora Jakes herself tell you that she has actually filed a divorce and the judge has signed a decree granting the divorce. Now, according to Texas law, there are 3 possible counties in Texas where this divorce could be filed. And that is in either Dallas County, Tarrant County, or maybe Ellis County if they actually resided in that particular county, which is the county where Cora Jakes' husband is currently jailed. Now, Texas law also talks about a court that would have exclusive continuing jurisdiction, i.e., a court that has entered a prior order regarding the custody of a child. And so any court that has entered an order giving custody of a child to Cora Jakes and her husband would also be the court where said divorce regarding the parents of those children or child must be filed. And so, in other words, the court that entered the judgment regarding the adoption of any child or children that Cora Jakes and her husband may have custody of is the same court where any divorce must be filed regarding that child or children. And so I have personally, with my own ears and mouth, communicated with the clerk of the Ellis County District Court, which is the same county where Cora Jakes' husband has been indicted and where he remains in jail. And their clerk states that there is no divorce on file in their records at this time for these 2 people. There are also many of you who state that the divorce case is sealed. But even if it is sealed, and I asked, and there are no sealed or unsealed cases involving these people, okay? But even if it were sealed, it would still show up on the court's docket when you search the record. There are people out there that are acting like they have a case number. If that case number is associated with a case file in this particular court, you'll see that case number when you search the online records, and you won't be able to actually access any of the files in the record, but that number should reflect an actual case that has been filed in that court's public records, and there is none, as you can see here. And so, as you can see here, when you attempt to search for divorce, there is no divorce on file involving either of them. Now, you may have similar name combinations, but there is nothing on file within the last 2 years involving these 2 exact people. There may be, another Richard Coleman, but it's not this Richard Coleman, because it would be a divorce that we're looking for, a divorce that would have been filed in 2021 or 2022. There are no divorces filed in the last few years involving any of these 2 people at all whatsoever. So there is absolutely no divorce on file in Ellis County. Now, when you look at the address that the court is using as his official address in the criminal court case, it is reflected as 9708 Forest Lane, which is in Dallas County. Now, I don't believe Dallas County is the proper county, and I'll tell you why I believe this in a minute. But when you search the Dallas County records, as you can see, there is no divorce filed by or against either of them. And so, as you can see here, just as in Ellis County, you may have people that have similar name combinations coming up with divorces filed in Dallas County, but there is nothing filed within the last 2 years for either of these two individuals. So there is absolutely no divorce filed in Dallas County either. Now, TD Jakes resides in Tarrant County, and Tarrant County is the same county where Sarah Jakes' divorce was filed, and it is the county where she has filed her petition to terminate her former spouse's parental rights, because that is the court that has exclusive continuing jurisdiction over that child in that divorce petition. So she had to go back into the Tarrant County District Court to file her petition to terminate his parental rights. And so, in addition, I have been provided this list of case numbers directly from the Tarrant County Family District Clerk involving family law cases wherein Cora Jakes and her husband are parties. And so, as you can see, there is only one adoption filed, and by law, I need to let you know that an adoption case in Texas, they are by law sealed. And so, as you can see here, they're both listed as petitioners. And this is the only case where they're both listed as petitioners. Now, I have spoken directly to the clerk of this court, and she indicates that these are the only cases that you see listed here. These are the only cases on file listing these parties. And this one case is an adoption case. That is as per the actual clerk herself. She states this case with this case number here up here at the top, where they're both listed as petitioner. This is an adoption case, and this case is sealed. So, just to recap, there is only one adoption on file. Now, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna get off focus, because you know y'all like to get me all off. You know, I need to stay focused on the matter at hand. So y'all talk about all the other stuff later. But there's only one adoption on file. 2 children, 1 adoption. Anyway, as I stated earlier, because this is the county where the adoption judgment is entered, this is the court where any divorce would have to be filed. And so, since the clerk has stated with direct certainty to me that there is no other cases other than these ones listed here, and there is no divorce on file for these people, these 2 individuals, I can say with at least 90% certainty that there is no divorce petition that has been filed by Miss Sister Cora Jakes. Now, it is a possibility that a divorce could have been filed somewhere else, but by law, that court would not have jurisdiction to enter a valid divorce decree, which would need to speak to the custody, child support, and visitation of any such child after the divorce. And so, as you know on here, I ask and report, and I let y'all church folks, I let y'all decide. Now, I don't know about you, but this all leaves me asking one question in part 4 of the Woman Thou Art Loose, ProfessorBlackmore.com pre-show. And that is, Sister Cora, why art thou not loosed? If you think your husband could in any way, shape, form, or fashion have been connected in any way to the allegations as set forth in the sexual assault indictment, how is it that you have not filed for divorce? Now that's my question. But what do you think? What could be the possible justification for Sister Cora not filing for divorce? I mean, if she really believes the child, if she does not think the child is lying, would she tarry one moment in filing for divorce? Or is this disappearing Instagram post and these missing divorce papers just a front for those people over there at that Potter's House church? Please let me know by leaving your comments in the comment section below. And I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I hope you'll consider also donating to this video by clicking the super thanks heart button below. And while you're there, I want to also ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell, honey child, so you'll be notified whenever I come back with even more hot tea drama on this case, child. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram.